yes, we've lost the war on guns. Personally, I knew it was over after Sandy Hook. We had a chance to pick guns or kindergartners, and we went with guns. There are 393 million guns in America. And I don't want to be judgy, but I think it's gotten absurd.
Hunting season has arrived. Diamond hunting season, that is. If you have your sights set on this, you can get this free from Leanne's Fine Jewelry.
Every kill begins with K. So here, I really missed that. So here's the deal. The problem with guns is that there's too many of them. And while research clearly shows mo guns, mo deaths, let's defer to the victors in this war. Mr. NRA, do you have any thoughts on how the rest of us could die less?
Lean in. Listen to me now.
Go on.
And never forget these words.
Spit it out.
To stop a bad guy with a gun, it takes a good guy with a gun.
Yes. Why didn't I think of that? Shootouts. One question, very quickly. How can you tell who's a good guy? You know what? Maybe I guess just ask them. I'm sure people are generally honest about that.
I was a good guy on the street. Sure, when Bruce Skinner, he'll tell you I was always a good guy.
OJ gets a gun. It's probably fine. Not his weapon of choice, allegedly. You know, are you taking OJ's side? Did that really just happen? OJ knife joke, and they're like, hey, buddy. He's paid his dues. You know what? Actually, they're right. Doesn't make sense. You know what's probably better? Don't let somebody tell you themselves. They're probably going to lie. References. Because everyone's going to say they're a good guy. Maybe you know if a guy is good if a different good guy gives him a vouch.
There's a guy I'd like to really thank here that people don't thank enough, but there's a kindly, wonderful, gentle man that we all deeply love. His name is Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein gets a gun. You know what? This isn't gonna work. We're not gonna be able to define good guys, so let's just focus on maybe keeping guns away from bad guys. Like terrorists. They shouldn't have guns.
A loophole in federal gun laws allows suspected terrorists to buy guns here in the U.S., and they have.
What the fuck? If you're on the terrorist watch list, you can have a gun? Okay. Well, what about registered sex offenders? It turns out sex offenders apparently also need guns. So we obviously can't agree on who the good guys are, and we can't seem to agree on who the bad guys are. So what are we supposed to do here? It's not a sci-fi Tom Cruise movie where we have some magical premonition of which bad guys are about to commit a violent crime and can intervene in the crime before it's too late. Or is it?
It appears a domestic dispute led to the massacre at a Texas church that left at least 26 people dead. The gunman, Devin Kelly, had a history of domestic violence.
The GOP shooting at the baseball diamond. He had a history of domestic violence.
Reports of domestic abuse, domestic violence.
Domestic violence complaints against him.
And an allegation of domestic violence.
History of domestic violence.
6 arrests for domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
20 years old and already has a domestic violence history.
Domestic violence offenders. It turns out domestic violence is a predictor for gun violence. In fact, there's a study that suggests a felony domestic violence conviction is the single greatest predictor of future violent crime among men. This is our sci-fi movie fix. Because if we simply kept guns away from domestic violence offenders, we could potentially stop 60% of mass shootings, 30% of child firearm deaths, more than 50% of women, 65%, 75%. Okay, I'm sorry, fuckload. Every 14 hours, an American woman is shot dead by an intimate partner. You might not care about any of that. And if you're the type of person who doesn't care about any of that, I do think I know an area that may speak to you more.
2 police officers shot and killed responding to a domestic violence call.
A rookie police officer was gunned down responding to a domestic violence call.
Shot and killed early this morning, responding to a domestic violence call.
Shot and killed while responding to a domestic violence call.
Responding to a domestic violence call.
Shot and killed in the line of duty. They were reportedly responding to a domestic violence call.
It turns out removing guns from domestic violence offenders also backs the blue. Between 2015 and 2016, domestic dispute calls made up 41% of all fatal police calls. For police, domestic violence calls are the single most dangerous calls that they respond to. It's why we're letting these wife-beating cop killers get away with literal mass murder. And why is the Lifetime channel the only network covering this phenomenon 24 hours a day? Oh, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, I hope you get out. You guys saw that one too, right? It's entertaining, but I saw it coming. We treat domestic violence like it's a tampon commercial. Ignore the blood. Pay attention to the dancing women in the white shorts. They're smiling. It's springtime. Everything's fine. By the way, the law already says domestic violence offenders can't have guns. If we just enforced that law, we would prevent other types of gun violence, the kind that actually makes the news. It's not a solution, but it's a real harm reduction model for gun violence. Unless, of course, Mr. NRA, you have a better solution on the table?
Arm America's women.
Go fuck yourself.